All right, we'll go ahead and get started. The Grand Rapids Town Board is meeting today, Wednesday, February 14th, 2024 at 6 p.m. at the Town of Grand Rapids Municipal Building. First agenda item is Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, next agenda item is approved agenda for meeting. Any changes? Okay. All right. Third agenda item is approved minutes of the January 10th, 2024 Town Board meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes as presented with one correction. I just happened to notice it now. On item number 4, the spelling of Brian Schmick, it's Brian.
Oh, Brian. Oh, good catch.
Thank you.
Because myself, I didn't get that.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, any discussion? All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Fourth agenda item then is public comment. People wishing to address the board will be limited to 2 minutes each, with the public comment limited to a total of 30 minutes.
Good evening. Tim Bruns, 4720 Falcon Court. I just would like to thank, on behalf of my neighbors in the Black Forest subdivision and myself, the Public Works Committee for their time on January 31st, meeting for a listening session with neighbors of mine and those in the Blueberry Lane area as well. There were many positive comments and a lot of feedback that was given to the board or committee that evening. And I would also like to recognize the board members who came to that meeting as well, so that they could hear comments from our residents in that particular area. Given the number of petitioner and those who attended that meeting, I think you can probably continue to understand that it's a very high interest topic for us, and we would like to encourage the Public Works Committee to continue to move that process along by meeting hopefully in the near future, where a dialogue and question and answer type of thing can happen between those of us who would still have some question or still would like to provide the committee member with some feedback and opinions. Lastly, Amber, I would say you did a great job of taking minutes. I had a draft picked up the other day. There was a lot of information, a lot of comment, a lot of perspectives that were shared that evening, and I thought you captured that information extremely well. And I know other neighbors will look forward to the committee approving those minutes so that they could be posted and read as well. But again, my comments specifically are to thank the committee and the board for listening to us, and we're hopeful that we can continue that dialogue in the very near future.
Thank you. Sure.
Luke Bosler, Falcon Court, Black Forest. I second his thought. It was good. My first meeting, I was here, and it was good. My second one now, I'd like to come more. So here we are. Thanks for your time. Thanks for taking your time to be here for this. This is something.
Yeah. Thank you. Anyone else for public comment? Okay. All right, fifth agenda item then is monthly reports from the departments. Fire department.
All right, good evening, board and residents.
Good evening.
Our report for January of 2024 for the fire department. We're currently staffed with 44 fire and EMS members. We're always looking for motivated individuals for fire and EMS. Stop by the fire station or contact me if you have any interest in serving your community. Calls for the month of January. We had 38 calls in January, consisting of 26 EMS calls and 12 fire calls. Like you asked last month so I gave you the breakdown last year in 23, then we had 24 EMS calls, and we had a really light January last year with only 2 calls for fire. Fire calls consisted of 5 calls in Grand Rapids, 3 calls in Saratoga, none in Grant, and we had 4 mutual aid. Mutual aid calls were with Plover and Wisconsin Rapids. So we had 4 mutual aid, 2 false alarm, 1 motor vehicle accident, 1 vehicle fire, 3 carbon monoxide calls, and a lift assist. Training information, this last month in January, we trained in EMS, cold exposures and emergencies. On the fire side, we did truck familiarization and SCBA wall breach drills. And then we held supplemental training at the end of January to brush up on our ice rescue refresher skills. So that was both sides. That was a multi-department training. We had Wood County Rescue there, Buren, a couple from Vesper, a couple from Pittsville. And thank you to the Grand Rapids Lions for letting us use their pond and clubhouse to put our suits on and off. And their pond works absolutely awesome for ice rescue because they run an aerator in the middle of it, and it gives us nice safe ice right to where there is no ice. So it works really well. So huge thanks to everybody at the Grand Rapids Lions for letting us use their grounds. So yeah, we had 1 monthly departmental meeting, 4 training meetings, 1 officer meeting. We had a heavy month for public relations. We hosted our quarterly retiree breakfast on January 5th. The month of January was our department's month for snow removal at the Wisconsin State Fire and EMS Memorial over on the west side. We hosted the Wood County Fire Chiefs Association meeting here on January 18th. We also used our station on the 18th and the 25th to host the 2-night DNR Intro to Wildland Firefighting, which was attended by members throughout Wood and Portage County. There was, I think, 35 or 36 in that class. So that's good. That's a class for beginning firefighters that learn about wildland firefighting. And then more information to come, but our department, I've received 2 private donations for our department to purchase a drone. We have purchased that drone. We're working on policies, procedures, and in getting that going, that will be a great tool in our toolbox. So smoke detector, we had a heavy month last year. Captain Ski did 10 homes last month. We have several, I got 4 on the report, but there's more than that now. We have 4 address signs in queue. And from the safety department, there was 1 employee injury last month. Any questions from the board? Okay.
Here, and police department.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Okay, Grand Rapids Police Department for the month of January. The Grand Rapids Police Department handled 393 calls for service, and that compared to 344 calls for service in January of 2023. That's about a 14.2% increase in calls. Attached, board members have a breakdown of those calls. The Police Department issued 46 traffic citations, 2 ordinance citations, and 28 written warnings and 0 DNR citations for the month of January. On Thursday, January 25th, I participated in a nationwide webinar hosted by the Blue to Gold Law Enforcement Training on Law Enforcement Officer Safety Act, more commonly referred to as LEOSA. That's the Federal Concealed Carry Act. Training topics included who is covered under LEOSA, the permissible concealed carry firearms, high-capacity magazines, and requirements for current sworn officers and retired officers. The training was very comprehensive and helped everyone better understand the scope and eligibility for concealed carry privileges nationwide. Most vehicles in the department are doing well outside of normal preventive maintenance. And as you see on item number 7, our 2016 Ford Explorer is in need of a transmission. And like I said, we'll address that coming up here in a little bit. So the rest of them are doing good. Just kind of on a side note, that is really the first major repair we've had with any of our squads for quite a while. So I think overall, the Ford SUVs have been pretty good for us. So please feel free again to stop by my house anytime if you have questions, concerns, or suggestions. Questions? All right, thank you.
Thank you. All right, and then treasurer's report.
Okay, for the month of January, our receipts were $5,558,941.61. Our disbursements were $313,752.53. Cash on hand at the end of the month was $5,149,640.94. That breakdown is our everyday checking, $105,332.89. Our repo account for that checking account, $283,093.49. And then our money market is $334,890.67. Our tax account, which includes both the checking and the repo account, $6,120,059.50, for a total of $6,843,376.55. Our ARPA account balance is $193,191.72 for a grand total of $36,568.27. I'm glad tax season is over. I'm done with those big numbers. Woo. Yes, I survived another tax season.
Congratulations.
All right, 6th agenda item then is consideration and possible action on Police Officer Conover's request to attend EBOC instructor certification training in Appleton from May 13th to the 17th, 2024.
I'll make a motion to approve the request for training.
I'll second that.
Any discussion?
Could we have just a quick explanation what EVAC is then?
Good.
Now?
Good question.
Emergency Vehicle Operation Course, and that's a mandatory biannual requirement by the state that we have to have so many hours of training every 2 years to stay in compliance with our training certification. So it's good to have an instructor on board our department. That way we don't have to depend on other departments for training. We've previously had an officer certified to train in EVAC, but that officer isn't on the department anymore. So.
Okay. Thank you.
Cody can then train our other officers then, per se?
Yes, yes.
Great.
Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, agenda item number 7, consideration and possible action on Police Chief Peterson's request for approval on a major equipment repair, a transmission replacement on 2016 Ford Explorer.
You should all have Mel's email and then the 2 different quotes that he provided. So.
You'll go to our discussion before.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
So, I don't know, it'll, 2 more years, it'll be 10 years old. Do you think it's worth it?
Yes, absolutely. That vehicle has less than 100,000 miles on it.
Hours.
Miles. And so, other than the transmission, it's in very good operating condition. So we'll very easily, I think, get our money back out of it to have it fixed, even for later on down the line, because that would be the next one coming out of service, because it's the 2016, that's the oldest one in the fleet right now. And you'd be hard pressed to get any money out of it, trying to sell it with a bad transmission.
Yeah.
So.
I'll make a motion to approve the request. And the amount.
Through Freeburg?
Freeburg's, there's two
Yes.
quotes.
Okay.
Freeburg's.
And do you want to put that on with our loan for next month if we bring the resolution for the loan, or do you want to talk about that?
I
approve it for
myself
now,
would
we can-
like to see that we just take it out of the current budget.
Okay.
We usually end up with something, you know, a little bit over in the end of the year.
Out of the general fund.
Mhm.
I agree, hopefully with other sales of equipment, we can offset it.
Okay.
This is kind of a hard one to swallow, but again, we certainly can't replace it for $7,000, the squad.
Yeah.
I'll second it.
Okay. Any other discussion?
Yeah, when I was researching a little bit about the Ford SUV, it seemed like that there, and I don't know what years, but they were sort of notorious for transmissions to come out between, you know, to go down between, I think it said 60,000 and 100,000 miles. So I think, you know, it's just one of those things with one of the vehicles, so. And I think it's good to have a new transmission rather than a remanded one. So I approve. I'm going to vote yes for it as well.
Okay. All right. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. All right, agenda item number 8 is January disbursement vouchers.
I have none.
Okay. Agenda item number 9 then is operator license applications.
Make a motion to approve the one-year applications for Boardman, Ruiz, Sox, and Wets as presented.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay. All right, 10th agenda item then is monthly reports from the committees. First one is Public Works. So everybody on the board was in attendance at that. We did get information back from those that we needed the information from to be able to hold another meeting. So we will have a meeting on February 29th at 6 p.m. and we'll get that agenda out and posted soon.
Did you say February 29th?
Correct.
Thank
Yep.
you.
All right, Airport Commission.
The Airport Commission met on February 1st. A couple things that were brought up. Our master plan for the airport, the fees have been submitted. And like I mentioned before, and our airport manager's a bit frustrated, and plus also our overseeing committee, the Bureau of Aeronautics has been very slow. Obstruction removal, there is several trees that need to be taken care of, and there is one property owner that is, I guess, kind of slowing the process up a little bit, so that will not happen this winter. Was supposed to have been done. Fuel sales about normal for January. There's been some legwork done for a vehicle replacement for the airport runner type vehicle. Estimates were discussed for hangar security, hangar and upgraded airport security. i.e. cameras, locks, and et cetera. The IT director from the City of Rapids was in attendance for Insight, and there is a possible slush fund out there from the Bureau to help with those costs, and that is being looked into. Top priority for that would be locks and like a fob type system like we put in recently here. And new business, possibly a new gate next to the terminal. Next meeting scheduled for March 7th. Thank you.
All right, recycling, solid waste, and water.
Yeah, we had an exciting week. They distributed the recycling carts the last week in January, and then they sort of finished up the first week in February. Their first week of collection with the new carts was February 5th. When the information was first handed out, unfortunately, they had incorrect information they had sent out. So they did send out a correction in the mail with the correct card information. They also sent out a different type of recycling information on what to put into the recycling carts, what not to put into the recycling carts. One of the questions that did arise, I ended up getting some phone calls and I thought I would share it this evening. What do you do with shredded paper? And shredded paper, of course, if you'd put it separately into the recycling bin, it's going to have opportunities to be, the wind catch it and spread all over. What they had suggested, if you do have shredded paper, is to put it into a paper bag or a paper box and then put that into the recycling cart. So if anybody had questions in regards to the recycling paper on that. There's also a phone number that's posted on our website if you have any damaged carts or recycling bins, or if you have not received your recycling carts yet or your trash carts, or if you have any concerns, you can call 888-960-0008. So that's a waste management number, and they'll be able to assist you with your questions. So that's about it for now.
Plan Commission.
We met last night. We had approved our annual dog exemptions. Also on the agenda was the approval for Charles Neinfeld. We had approved the conditional use for him to have a multifamily residential building on the contingency that we, the Plan Commission, would approve the parking plan, the landscaping plan, and the site plan, and that was approved last night. And then also we discussed our Plan Commission Building and Zoning annual reports. So we're working on that for our annual meeting in April. And then also on the agenda was to discuss and review the lot fence setbacks, through lot fence setbacks. And so it's going to be also on our next agenda to further discuss that, and that's it. Oh, our next meeting is March 11th at 6 p.m.
Okay. Public buildings, we did not meet. Legislative, anything to add there?
No, other than we will soon. One of the things that I am working on are some proposed amendments to our alcohol licensing ordinance. So there are some delayed effective dates after Act 73. You may have seen that there's like 3 staggered dates for effective dates on that. The next one that's most relevant for us will be in early May, and so we certainly will have a legislative to get that ordinance back in front of this body then by that date.
Public safety.
Did not.
Economic development, we did not meet. Personnel, we didn't meet, but we have a meeting scheduled for February 23rd. And WTA meeting.
There was no meeting in January. The meeting will be February. It'll be this coming Friday at 6:30 at it'll be the town of Cameron, but it'll be at the Richfield Town Hall. And that'll be started, like I said, at 6:30. And the speaker will be Chad Schooley from Parks Committee. And he's the forest director will be there. That's it.
Okay. Agenda item number 11 then, reports from individual town board members. Jeff, do you have anything?
I have nothing.
Okay, Jason?
Good.
Patty?
Just questions in regards to the carts and how they work or what to recycle. That I'm sure is going to be ongoing. One of the questions too, I noticed that the Wisconsin Towns Association sent out, and I sent you an email in regards to the grant that's out there for the agricultural roads. So I would just offer my time as well to look into that if that's something that we decide to do as a.
Yeah, that's something Mike and I have been talking about.
Good, thanks.
And Bill?
No, I don't have it.
Okay. Agenda item number 12 then is public input. People wishing to address the board will be limited to 2 minutes each, with public input limited to a total of 16 minutes. Any public input?
I would like to know the hours of that 2016 Explorer, idle hours. Do they don't keep track of those?
I'd have to, they probably would come up on the, they'd have to hook it up to their computer probably and get those hours. I'm not aware of a function within the vehicle.
The 15.
I'm sorry?
What was that?
I said, you can look it up on the 15, but
Yeah,
yeah.
I'd
You gotta go to one of those
have to
menus,
scroll through
yeah.
that menu. I'm not sure what the
Yeah.
idle hours
I
are.
guess my reason for asking that is I'm curious to know how many idle hours there are, because the engine, I mean, the mileage on a cop car doesn't really matter as much as the hours it idles. I have no problem spending $7,000. It's just, what's the engine condition
Yeah.
is my question.
It's not using oil, you're good.
Yeah.
I'm sorry?
I said if it's not using oil, you should be good.
Well,
Any other public input? Okay. Future agenda items? Okay. And last agenda item then is adjourn. Can I get a motion?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
A second.
Okay. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay.